They said her zobo was the sweetest in Oke-Aro, but sweetness can hide danger. They say not everything that tastes sweet is good for the body. This is the terrifying tale of Iya Zobo. In the busy town of Oke-Aro, a small but crowded town in southwestern Nigeria, life did not wait for anybody. From early morning, the place was already alive. Motorcycles passed with loud noise. Bus conductors shouted destinations. Hawkers knocked on bus windows, begging people to buy sachet water, bread, gala, or roasted groundnuts. Dust floated in the air like smoke. The sun rose fast and hot, pressing down on everyone like a heavy hand. In Oke-Aro, if you did not hustle, you suffered. Among all the roadside sellers, one woman always stood out. Her name was Ronke, but nobody called her that. Everybody called her Iya Zobo. Every morning by 4:30 a.m., Ronke woke up. While other women still slept or stretched lazily on their beds, she was already moving. She bathed quietly with cold water. She rubbed cream on her skin carefully, as if preparing for something important. She tied her wrapper firmly around her waist. She wore a fitted Ankara blouse. Then she stood in front of her small mirror and tied her red head tie slowly. Red was Ronke's favorite color. Red lipstick, red earrings, red bangles. Even her plastic cups were red. Outside her room sat a big red plastic keg. She cleaned it every morning, wiping it gently, almost lovingly, like it was alive. When she pushed her table to her usual spot near the bus stop, people noticed immediately. "Ah, Iya Zobo, come!" someone shouted. Customers gathered quickly. Students bought it before going to school. Bus drivers drank it before starting long journeys. Market women drank it, closed their eyes, and smiled. "Ah, this Zobo sweet dye," they said. Ronke smiled back at them. But her smile was strange. It stopped at her lips. Her eyes did not smile. Her eyes only watched. They watched people drink. They watched people enjoy. They watched people come back again. One hot afternoon, a small boy named Sodik, about 10 years old, stopped in front of her stand. Sweat covered his face. His school uniform was dusty. "Auntie, a beg, give me Zobo," he begged. Ronke looked at him for a few seconds. Then she poured him a full cup. Sodik drank it quickly. "Ah," he sighed with relief. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and ran away. That night, Sodik could not sleep well. He turned and twisted on his bed. Sweat covered his body. In his dream, a woman dressed in red stood beside him. Her face was smiling, but her eyes were dark. She called his name softly. "Sodik!" Sodik screamed and woke up crying. The next morning, on his way to school, Sodik suddenly fell to the ground. People rushed to him. Some said it was heat. Some said it was malaria. Nobody mentioned Iya Zobo. At her stand that same morning, Ronke wiped her red keg calmly. She smiled. Business went on. Because in Oke-Aro, evil does not shout. It hides inside sweetness. After Sodik collapsed on the road, his mother's cry shook the whole street. She ran outside, barefoot, wrapper loose, hair untied, shouting his name again and again. Neighbors rushed out of their rooms. Some screamed in fear. Some poured water on Sodik's head. Others shouted different advice at the same time. "Give him water." "No, it is malaria." "It is heat. This sun is too much." Nobody mentioned Zobo. In Oke-Aro, children fell sick often. Life was hard. Food was expensive. Stress was normal. So people explained Sodik's collapse the easy way. But as the day went on, strange stories began to move quietly from mouth to mouth. A bus conductor named Tay complained that his head was spinning after drinking Iya Zobo's drink that morning. He said the road looked like it was moving. A woman selling pepper in the market said her chest felt tight and heavy after drinking the same Zobo. Yet, something strange happened. The next day, all of them returned. Even though they complained, even though they felt weak, their legs carried them back to Iya Zobo's stand. They said the taste stayed in their mouths. It stayed on their tongues. It followed them home. At the bus stop that morning, people gathered as usual. Iya Zobo arrived early. She wiped her table carefully and arranged her red cups in a straight line. "Good morning," people greeted her. She nodded. She smiled that small smile. Inside her mind, she was counting. 1 cup. 2 cups. 3 cups. Each cup sold made her chest feel lighter, like a heavy load was slowly lifting. "Business is good today," someone said. Ronke simply nodded. She only poured another cup. That evening, after closing, she returned to her room. The sun had gone down. The street was quiet. Inside the room, the red keg stood in one corner. Ronke sat on the floor in front of it. She placed her palm on the keg and closed her eyes. "Don't worry," she whispered softly. "I will feed you well. I will not fail you." The room suddenly felt cold. Outside, the wind blew hard, even though the weather was hot. Ronke opened her eyes and smiled. Business would continue. And Oke-Aro had not yet seen anything. After some weeks, Iya Zobo's name spread across Oke-Aro like harmattan fire. People talked about her drink everywhere. At the bus stop. Inside the market. In school compounds. "Have you tasted that woman Zobo?" they asked each other. Her business grew faster than anyone expected. Before noon every day, her keg was already half empty. By afternoon, it was gone. People did not just drink it. They desired it. Even those who complained of headache or weakness still returned the next day. They said the sweetness stayed in their mouth. It stayed in their body. One of her regular customers was a young woman named Kemi. Kemi was a tailor apprentice, about 22 years old. She worked from morning till night, stitching clothes for customers who barely paid well. Life had been hard for her since her father died. The first day Kemi drank Iya Zobo's drink, she felt light. The second day, she felt confident. By the end of the week, customers began to come more than usual. Her madam praised her work. Money entered her hands. Kemi smiled again. But something else slowly left her life. Peace. At night, Kemi could not sleep. She lay on her thin mattress, staring at the ceiling. Her ears caught whispers that were not there. "Kemi, come back tomorrow." She sat up, breathing fast. When she looked at the mirror beside her bed, her reflection smiled. But Kemi was not smiling. Fear entered her heart. The next morning, she promised herself she would not drink the Zobo again. But when afternoon came, her legs carried her to the bus stop. She stood in front of Iya Zobo's table. "I won't drink today," she told herself. Yet, her mouth spoke differently. "Auntie, give me Zobo." As she drank, relief spread through her body. Across the table, Ronke watched her quietly. She noticed the shaking hands. She noticed the fear in Kemi's eyes. Inside her heart, Ronke felt something warm. The keg was feeding, and it wanted more. Night always came differently for Ronke. While other people in Oke-Aro slept after a long day, she became more active. When the noise outside reduced and generators stopped humming, Ronke locked her door from inside. Her small room was dark and hot. One dim bulb hung from the ceiling, flickering like it might go off at any time. The red keg stood in the corner, quiet and still. Ronke tied another wrapper around her chest and moved to the small stove in the corner of the room. She poured water into a large pot. She added dried hibiscus leaves. She washed fresh ginger carefully and sliced it slowly. She added cloves. The smell filled the room. This was the part everyone knew. But that was not all. Ronke opened a small wooden box under her bed. Inside, it was a black nylon bag. Her hands shook as she brought it out. She stood still for a moment, breathing heavily. Her mind traveled back to the days she suffered. The days customers passed her by. The days she went home hungry. Tears filled her eyes. "I suffered too much," she whispered. "Nobody helped me." Slowly, she opened the nylon. Inside was something dark. Something that smelled like iron. Ronke closed her eyes and dropped it into the pot. The liquid changed color. The pot began to bubble strangely. Ronke stepped back in fear. Then she heard it. A low voice. Hungry. Feed me. Her heart pounded. Yes, she whispered. I will. She stirred the pot gently. When she was done, she poured the zobo into the red keg. She cleaned the pot and washed her hands carefully. Before sleeping, she stood in front of the keg. Tomorrow will be better, she said. The keg was silent, but inside it, something waited. One hot afternoon, Baba Suleiman, a spiritually sensitive old man with eyes that had seen too many secrets, walked slowly down the street. His cane tapped against the dusty ground, echoing softly. He stopped near Iya Zobo's stand, squinting at the red keg. The smell hit him first. It was sweet, yes, but there was something bitter under it, something dark. He raised a hand and muttered quietly in Yoruba, almost a whisper to himself. This is not right. Something is wrong. Ronke noticed him. She smiled politely. Good afternoon, Baba Suleiman. Would you like some zobo? He looked at her carefully. His eyes narrowed. Your drink. It smells different today, girl, he said. What have you put in it? Ronke's smile flickered, but she kept it. Just hibiscus, ginger, and cloves. Nothing unusual. Baba Suleiman did not move closer. He sniffed again. No, it is more than that. The air, it burns my nose. You are hiding something. Ronke's heart skipped a beat. She felt a cold sweat. The streets seemed to quiet down suddenly, the noise of hawkers and motorcycles fading. Baba, you are imagining, she said, trying to keep her voice calm. Do not lie to me, girl, he snapped. I can see it. You are mixing more than herbs in that pot. Ronke's fingers twitched. You should leave, she said quietly, her voice low and sharp. No, I will not leave, Baba Suleiman said. I have seen too many tricks. Spirits do not hide from me. You are feeding something dangerous. Ronke's eyes darted to the red keg. The liquid inside seemed darker now, almost moving on its own. She swallowed hard. Girl, he said, voice dropping, if you do not stop, it will destroy you and the people who drink from it. That night, Baba Suleiman lay in his small room, muttering prayers. His door was locked, but even as he slept, a shadow seemed to enter the room. The air smelled of iron. He woke up, screaming. His body was cold, his hands shook. By morning, Baba Suleiman was found still, lying peacefully on his mat. No one knew what killed him. No illness, no struggle. The town whispered, Baba Suleiman, he just died? Some were afraid to drink the zobo now. Others ignored it. The red keg still stood on the street. Its sweet smell invited them like a promise. And Ronke watched quietly, smiling. A teenage girl named Ayo, about 16, had always been curious. She sold small sachets of water in the market to help her mother, but she noticed things others ignored. Every afternoon, she watched Iya Zobo carefully from a distance. The red keg seemed alive in the sunlight, gleaming in a way that made her stomach twist. She saw something strange. Flies never landed on the keg. Even ants avoided it. Children gathered to drink, laughing, but some stumbled afterward. Ayo watched quietly, her heart pounding. She also noticed that Ronke never drank her own zobo. The woman always sipped her water, but never her zobo. Always pouring for others, always watching. One evening, Ayo hid behind a cart. Ronke poured zobo into cups, whispering softly under her breath. What is she saying? Ayo murmured to herself, pressing her hands over her mouth. Ronke's lips moved, but no one else could hear. She called names. Names of people who drank the zobo. Ayo felt fear crawl up her spine. She wanted to run, but her legs froze. Something in Ronke's eyes told her not to scream. Suddenly, a boy from the market ran past, bumping into Ayo. He grabbed a cup of zobo and ran off. Ayo felt a chill. The street seemed quieter now. Even the hawkers' voices faded. She knew something dangerous was happening. That night, in her small room, Ayo told her mother, Mama Iya Zobo, she is not right. Something bad is in that drink. Her mother shook her head. Ayo, you are imagining. People have drunk her Zobo for years. She is just a normal woman selling drinks. Ayo could not sleep. Her eyes stayed open, staring at the ceiling. She could still see Ronke's red head tie in her mind, her smile, and the way she whispered names into the air. The shadows in her room felt heavier. The wind outside moaned. Ayo knew one thing. She had to watch carefully, because the danger was growing, and nobody else seemed to notice. One evening, as the sun dipped low behind the houses, Ayo decided to follow Ronke. Her heart pounded. Every step was careful. She kept to the shadows, hiding behind market stalls and old wooden carts. Ronke walked slowly, her red head tie shining in the dying light. She carried the empty cups from her stand and moved toward a quiet, deserted crossroads. Ayo stopped behind a bush, holding her breath. The street was empty, silent, except for the distant sounds of the market closing. The air smelled of dust and sweat. Ronke set the cups on the ground. She knelt and whispered names, softly, rhythmically, over each cup. Ayo could not understand all the words, but the tone made her shiver. There was power in the whisper, cold and dark. Ayo felt a chill run down her spine. Her legs trembled. She wanted to turn and run, but curiosity held her. Suddenly, a crow cawed loudly nearby. Ronke's head snapped toward the sound, eyes scanning the darkness. Ayo pressed herself deeper into the shadows. Then Ronke poured Zobo from the red keg onto the ground, in front of each cup. The liquid shimmered strangely, reflecting the last rays of sunlight, almost moving on its own. Ayo's mouth went dry. She realized she had witnessed something forbidden. She could feel the power, the hunger, the dark energy. Her legs could not carry her away fast enough. Trembling, she ran home, her heart hammering in her chest. She did not look back. That night, she could not sleep. She saw the red of the head tie in her dreams. The whispered names haunted her, and she knew, deep inside, the danger was far from over. After the incident at the crossroads, strange things started happening in Oke-Aro. Children complained of dizziness. Market women felt heavy in their chests. Even young men carrying goods on their heads stumbled and fell without reason. Whispers spread like wildfire. Did you see what happened to Sodik? They say Baba Suleiman is dead. People are falling sick after drinking Ronke's Zobo. Fear filled the town. Mothers pulled their children close. Shopkeepers closed early. Even the bus drivers hesitated to buy from Ronke. At the market square, a group of elders gathered, talking in hushed tones. "We must do something," said Elder Tunde, voice trembling. "This is not ordinary sickness." "I have seen strange things," said another. "The woman's Zobo is tied to spirits. It is dangerous." Some villagers shook their heads, afraid to speak too loudly. Ronke's red keg sat quietly at the bus stop the next morning, full and inviting. Her smile was calm as customers slowly approached, unsure but drawn by the sweetness. Ayo watched from the corner, her eyes wide. She knew the danger was growing. She tried to warn others, but most ignored her. Fear had begun, but action was slow. Night came. The town was quieter than usual. The wind whispered through the streets, carrying a scent of iron and hibiscus. People huddled in their homes, feeling that something unseen watched them. And somewhere, in the dark, Ronke's keg waited. The tension in Oke-Aro reached its peak when a group of elders, led by Elder Tunde, decided to confront Ronke. They approached her, stand carefully, trying not to frighten the customers. Ayo was hiding behind a cart, watching silently. "Ronke," Elder Tunde said, voice steady but serious. "We know about your Zobo. People are falling sick. Baba Suleiman is dead. This cannot continue." Ronke looked at them, her red head tie perfectly tied, her face calm, but her eyes flickered with something dark. I only wanted to survive," she whispered, almost pleading. "Life has been cruel to me. I worked and suffered. Nobody helped me. I wanted just a little power, a little control. Elder Tunde frowned. This is not the way. You have caused harm to many. Why put this darkness in your drink? Her lips trembled. The spirit, it asked for more. I tried to stop, but it would not listen. It needs blood to stay strong. Gasps echoed from the small crowd that had gathered. Some people covered their mouths in horror. Others stared, afraid. Iyo's eyes widened. She felt a mix of fear and sadness. Ronke's confession was frightening, but also human. She understood the suffering that led to this, even if she couldn't forgive it. Elder Tunde shook his head. This is grave, Ronke. The town cannot allow this to continue. You must face the consequences. Ronke lowered her gaze, tears falling. I know, I am ready for what comes. The wind outside picked up, as if the town itself was listening, waiting. Shadows moved strangely, and the red keg on her stand glimmered ominously in the fading sunlight. Iyo shivered. She knew that whatever happened next would change Oke-Aro forever. The next morning, the people of Oke-Aro noticed something strange. Iya Zobo did not appear at her usual spot. The red keg sat alone, glistening under the hot sun, untouched. Her small stand was empty. No cups, no smile, no whispers. Children wandered around, looking for her. The market was quieter than usual. Even the bus drivers hesitated to start their engines. Curiosity and fear drew some villagers closer. They went to her house. The door wasn't locked. Inside, there was only the smell of iron and herbs. The room was empty, except for the small wooden box she used to hide her secret. People shivered as they looked at the red keg. They remembered the dizziness, the headaches, the strange deaths. They realized how close the town had been to disaster. Iyo stood at the edge of the crowd, heart pounding. She looked at the keg one last time and whispered, "Not everything that looks sweet is good for you." From that day on, the town never fully trusted a drink without caution. Parents warned children. Elders reminded the community about greed and desperation. And the memory of Iya Zobo remained a chilling story told for generations. Ronke was never seen again. Some said she had fled. Others whispered she had disappeared into the spirit world she had fed. Whatever the truth, the lesson was clear. Moral lesson. Life may be hard, and suffering can tempt us to take shortcuts. But evil, greed, and desperation always come with a cost. Sweetness that hides danger can destroy not only yourself, but those around you. True success comes from patience, hard work, and honesty, not from dark shortcuts or harming others. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like and follow this channel and subscribe to Tracy's Storytime on YouTube for more interesting stories.